What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on the channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about the Terra Luna effect on Splinterlands, right? So we know that the flywheel system, right, burning SPS for DEC is loosely based on what Terra Luna did, and they were very successful in that project, and of course, until everything collapsed. And I don't want to get into the specifics of that. I know there's a lot of salt around Terra Luna, and a lot of people look at that and immediately say, why would you build your, model your system on something like Terra Luna, but understand that the kind of two-way conversion, which is what ultimately did Terra Luna in, does not exist in Splinterlands. Now, there's still, obviously risk, and there's risk with everything when it comes to crypto, maybe even outside of crypto too. But with this, it's a product-backed stablecoin, and you can't burn DEC for SPS. So looking into what made Terra Luna so effective, so appealing, and just such a project that came out of nowhere in the 2021 bull run and made it into the top 10, maybe even the top 5. I don't quite remember, but it was very popular. And, you think about all of the different dApps, right? Decentralized applications that are on Ethereum and Solana and, the BNB chain. There's a ton of stuff on there. But with Luna, for anybody that remembers, there were only 3 protocols at the time. There were only 3. I think it was like Mirror Protocol. There was one other one. And then, of course, the famous Anchor Protocol, where you could go burn your Luna token for UST, which was the stable coin, right? So they burned Luna for UST, which is like us burning SPS for DEC. And then you could just go stake your UST tokens, right, which is an algorithmically pegged stablecoin to the US dollar. You could go stake those, and they were paying 20% out interest rate in UST. So at the time, banks in the US, the interest rates hadn't risen yet, and you were getting like 0.5%, if even that, in most banks, right? So it was like absurdly low, and people looked at this and said, well, we can go in and, put stuff into stablecoins and earn 20%. It's crazy. And not just regular DeFi degens, crypto degens did it. You had Three Arrows Capital, which is like, I don't know if hedge fund is the right term, but I mean, they're a financial institution that ended up, collapsing because of what ended up happening, right? So it was something that everybody was trying to take advantage of on a major scale. Just this 20%, right, was enough to get people to come in, buy Luna, burn it for UST, or just go buy the UST straight, and then stake it into the Anchor protocol and earn 20% on those tokens. So with that being said, that is what made it so popular. That's not what made it crash, right? Of course, when looking in hindsight, it was definitely unsustainable, but the project was ultimately attacked, and then it died, right? So that's obviously where it's at. It had the death spiral, which hopefully Splinterlands can get around, but with the fact that DEC cannot be burned for SPS. SPS cannot be minted in any other way. There's only going to ever be 3 billion that are minted, of which we've already burned, I think, 3%, more than 3%. DEC, though, is backed by the products of the game, the products of Splinterlands. And so, therefore, it's a product-backed stablecoin. It's treated a little bit differently than the UST token. It's not algorithmic, but, there's those are kind of like the rough differences. So let's get away from the death spiral, right, which I know a lot of people want to focus on, and let's actually focus on what made Terra Luna so I guess effective and attractive early on. Now, that was that 20% APR. And the reason why I'm very excited, and I know many others, shout out to Stever because we've talked about this in the past too, but the reason I'm excited about this is because we may have a similar mechanism which will allow people in crypto, all those crypto degens that want to get in on this, it will allow them to earn and do something similar. And what I mean by that is these pools. Now, let's discount the DEC BUSD pool because this is something that is going to go away. We're going to switch this out for USDC. And so a lot of people have already taken their liquidity out. There's still 160,000 there, but I'm sure, this is all going to be changed by tomorrow. Now, DEC DAI, on the other hand, is where I want to focus. So this pool is remaining the same, and it is based on 2 stablecoins, right? So you have you have DAI, which is an algorithmic stablecoin as well, but I think it's backed like 40% by USDC. And then, of course, DEC, which is the product-backed stablecoin of Splinterlands. Now, if you have confidence in both of these, you can just provide liquidity, which is kind of the same thing as buying the UST token, right, and earning that 20%. You stake it in the Anchor protocol, and you earn 20%. Well, here, you can buy, right, DEC DAI, pool them together, create the LP token, and right now you can earn 18%. In fact, SPS is down now. We were at like 3.3 cents. Now I think we're a little bit under 3 cents with the recent dip. So we were over 20% for a little while. We're at 18% now. And the fact is, the higher SPS goes throughout this bull market, because of the fact that the reward token paid out, right, SPS is not either of the LP pairs. I mean, we could do crazy multiples here. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so SPS, let's say when SPS is at like 3.3 cents or something like that, it's at 20%. Well, if SPS were to do a 3x and go to, let's just say 10 cents, right? For example, well, all of a sudden, I mean, we would jump from 20% all the way up to 60% APR. And this is what I'm trying to say, where all of a sudden that APR for holding two stable coins becomes really juicy. And the best part of this is, many whales outside of Hive and Splinterlands would still be able to avail of this. Now, they would be getting paid on Hive, but the two stablecoin pools that we have are on the BNB chain, which is huge, and the ETH chain, both of which are huge, right? So they wouldn't have to keep their assets on there. They would have to create an account in Splinterlands, right, and then earn that, or earn that SPS rewards, and then probably pull those out or whatever the case is. But my point is that they would be able to take advantage of the APR in Splinterlands without even touching anything in the game. So is this a good thing, a bad thing, a maybe somewhere in the middle thing for the game, for the project? Yeah, probably, because yes, all of the above, right? I think there's a lot of opportunity here because it could bring a lot of eyeballs into Splinterlands, and it could spike the price of SPS the way that Luna went. Like, I mean, that thing, when I first started following the project, it was $6. It went all the way above 100, right? So we could have that kind of momentum. Again, I'm not saying that we will. I'm just saying we could have that kind of momentum if people realize the opportunity there. And if you get a bunch of people who don't care about the game, but understand DeFi and want to play, they don't even need to play on Hive. They can play on their favorite chain, BNB or Ethereum. They could come in, buy the assets, right? DEC, DAI. And if they need more, what do? Well, they just buy SPS, burn it, and then bridge it back out into one of their favorite chains. They're still holding all of the assets, right? They're still holding all of their principal, and they're getting paid in SPS from within the game. Now, what they do with that from there, I don't know. There's probably be a lot of sell pressure. Keep in mind that in order to restake restake, they'd have to sell that SPS. But the best part is if DEC is at peg, they don't need to sell any SPS. They could just take that rewards, burn it immediately SPS for DEC, sell half of that DEC for BUSD or DAI, right? Or sorry, USDC when that goes live, or DAI, and then they are essentially like restaking or reinvesting the proceeds from their from their investment. So again, I'm just trying to point this out because we're now very close to that. And, I don't have anything in this pool. Maybe I'll get it into the pool at some point. Maybe I'll get into the USDC, DEC pool at some point. But it's going to be fascinating to watch as we move along because everybody loves crypto degens. I mean, I should rephrase that. Crypto degens love this kind of stuff, right? And so if they do find their way into Splinterlands, not because of the game, not because the cards look cool, not because of the artwork and the lore, not because of the land and Soulkeep and whatever else comes in, but simply because of this, simply because of the DeFi elements, that could bring a lot of capital into the ecosystem very, very quickly. Now, even if they don't come, it's still a tremendous opportunity. And it's something that I look at and I say, well, I do like USDC or I do like DAI. And of course I like DEC because I understand, I believe long-term in what Splinterlands is trying to build. So why wouldn't I hold maybe some of my, stable coin capital in there and earn 20% in SPS, knowing that SPS has an even higher upside potential. So even if we don't get those DeFi degens, I think it's still something that's worthwhile for the Splinterlands community now, just to provide liquidity and have that opportunity there. But that's all I have in this video. Again, I know it's super bullish, super speculative, but crazier things have happened. So I cannot wait to see what happens if we do get that kind of Terra Luna effect within the game, within the project, within the ecosystem. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Very curious to see or hear what you guys think of this. And I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.